But I'm recording as of right now. So who will do what it takes to get funded? Yesterday, we did this presentation yesterday, and a bunch of people stood up to the plate and they signed up, and we've already got people approved and in the mix with us. So what will you do what it takes? If you will, just type in the chat box, I will. We want to know who is willing to step up to do what it takes. So what does First Merchant offer? To answer that question, I'm going to introduce Tim McCormick, my longtime friend. Tim?
All right, thanks, Frank. Thanks for giving us the great intro, and I always appreciate working with you and your team, your very large team of people that you work with, or that you have worked with for years, and we're glad to be able to offer this new kind of financing. This is really a new kind of financing. It's new to everybody, unless you were on yesterday's call, and if you're on yesterday's call, then it's still pretty new. It's like a brand new pair of shoes you wore one day. It's still exciting. It'll still make you run faster. So First Merchants, we have a line of credit, and it's different from anything that you have out there right now, and different in a good way. You can get up to $10,000 within really a couple days, just based on your personal credit score. Then beyond that, you can get up to 100 grand by submitting your business revenue. I'm just going to unpack that a little bit just so you understand what it is. I've never, ever had a line of credit that was easier to get than this. And that's because when you come in initially, all they do is look at your credit score with a soft pull. So there's no inquiry placed. They just look at your Experian credit score, FICO 8, and you get anywhere from $200 if you got a 300 FICO up to $10,000 if you have really good credit. And it takes just a couple days. It's almost instant. The only thing is you have to have a merchant account. We're going to get into that. But then after the account is opened, if you've got a business that's growing or doing revenue, then you can submit your business bank statements, and they'll bump it up based on your business revenue up to 100 grand. So there's two stages to the approval. And I have some people that say, you know, I want to come in and get 50 right away. I'm ready to show you my business bank statements. That's great, but this is actually a lot easier if you've gone through the underwriting to get a line of credit before. Some would say it's proctological, but nobody would say it's fun. It's long, slow, and they ask for a ton of details. This is nothing like that. This is literally 10 minutes on the phone, and you find out what you get initially. It's that fast. You get access to it within a week. And then after that, you can get it bumped up as frequently as every 3 months. Anytime you have a good quarter, you can come back and submit your business bank statements and get an increase. So to be totally clear on some of Frank's advertising, it says get 10 to 100 grand in 3 to 5 days. Reminder, it's get up to 10 grand in 3 to 5 days, and then get up to 100 grand for as long as it takes for you to grow your business, right? You could do it right away, or if it takes a couple of years, it takes a couple of years, but it's completely up to you and how you grow your business. All right, you can go to the next slide there.
Same thing happened yesterday. It didn't let me. There you go.
All right, so who qualifies for this line of credit? And the answer is anybody with a credit score. Really, right? If you have a US credit score, that means you have a social security number or whatever, then you can get this as long as we set up, or you already have a merchant account for your business. I'll get into what that is, but there is no minimum FICO score. So if you've had trouble getting qualified for financing in the past, don't worry, you'll be able to qualify here. Conversely, if you have really good credit, this is still an excellent thing. In the past, when I've advertised something and said, hey, anybody qualifies, usually it's bad financing with bad interest rates. And that's what's different about this. You could have the worst credit score possible, and you're still going to get a reasonable interest rate. It's not going to be like a merchant cash advance where you're going to borrow 10 grand and pay back 13 grand in 3 months with daily payments. It's nothing like that. It's much better. So anybody in the US, as long as you have a credit score, you either have an incorporation or a DBA, so we can work with sole props, and you have a driver's license and a checking account, business checking account, those 4 things, and we can do it. Sole proprietors are all right. Again, this is the only kind of business financing I've ever offered where you could be a sole proprietor with a DBA and be able to get the same financing as a corporation with 20 years of experience or with great great tax returns. You don't have to submit tax returns at all. So you just got to be alive, have a credit score, and have some kind of business something, either a corporation or a DBA. So how is our line special compared to the other types of financing out there? It's a true line of credit. You're going to get a lot of people that advertise lines of credit, and it's going to be not exactly a line of credit. It'll either be a credit card, or some of the merchant cash advance people are offering what looks like a line of credit but isn't. This is a real line of credit. When I say it's real, what it means is you can log in online, transfer the money into your bank account whenever you want without having to pay cash advance rates like some of the credit cards do. You don't have to ask permission like with credit cards. Maybe they give you a convenience check, but it's inconvenient because you get them sometimes, you don't get them other times. It's a real line of credit. Anytime you want, you go in, transfer the money. Here's something that's super crazy. There's no personal guarantee at all. Now, of course, you're guaranteeing it with the business, so it's not just like a grant, but there is no personal guarantee. And having been a business owner and having been a guarantor, that's no fun. Nobody likes having a personal guarantee. There's no personal reporting, so it will not show up on your credit, period. No inquiry is going to show up on your credit. No debt balancing is going to show up on your credit. No late payments are going to show up. Nothing shows up on your personal credit. Even if we have to get a merchant account for you, there's no inquiry. And if you've ever applied for a merchant account before, I have over the years, ended up with inquiry on TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, all three. If you apply for 2 or 3 merchant accounts just shopping around, all of a sudden you're lit up with inquiries. None of that. There's a zero inquiry application process.
So what is
Frank could attest to this.
What is the
right?
significant? Yeah, I could definitely attest to that. But what is the significance? You just touched on it, but I really want people to understand that this is a business line of credit that we're talking about. And business 101, you always want to separate your personal from your business. And what Tim just explained to you is, yes, we're going to use your personal FICO to create a PAYDEX report. FICO doesn't look at PAYDEX, and PAYDEX doesn't look at FICO. So it is not going to affect your personal credit if you get this program and you begin to use it. The only one that's going to know that you have an extra $100,000 or an extra $10,000 is you, me, and Tim. Go on, Tim.
And the business reporting services, because it will report to Experian Business and PAYDEX, which is called something else. I'm blanking. But currently, we're not scheduled to report to Equifax Business, but it doesn't matter. So yes, complete separation between business and personal, which is really important for the ups and downs to be able to sleep at night. All right, next slide. Also, you don't have to submit tax returns or bank statements to get approved. You will need to submit bank statements if you want to get the business increase, but that's not required. That's totally up to you. And as I mentioned before, what's really unique about this is that the funding grows with your business, right? Apply Now will give you your instant approval amount. Then, like I said, every 3 months, you want to submit your business bank statements. You have a good quarter, we'll bump it up. If you have a bad quarter, don't ask, right? Just don't bring it up. But anytime you have a good quarter, submit bank statements, and you can keep getting it increased. We really want to cover all your monthly recurring costs, right? Our goal is to have a line of credit that covers all your monthly recurring costs, which allows you to spread out your costs to whenever the money comes in, right? Pay your payments when they're due, and pay it off when money comes in. Now, you do have to have a merchant account in order to get this line of credit. And if you don't know what a merchant account is, it is the thing that you use to accept payments using Visa, MasterCard. And we can work with any merchant account out there except for the kind of fake merchant accounts, which would be PayPal, Square, Stripe. There's some other ones that are like that. They act like a merchant account, so to you the difference doesn't matter, but to us it does, because we need a real merchant account that you get assigned your own merchant ID number. And so if you don't have one, we can set it up for you. But what do you do with a merchant account? You can accept payments over the internet. You can accept payments in person with a swiper. You can accept them over the phone, through the mail, whatever. If you process a credit card, it's through a merchant account. So why do you need a merchant account? You need a merchant account because we are going to link your merchant account with the line of credit. And by link, what it means is every time you receive a payment through your merchant account, that payment's going to be split, and some's going to go into your bank account, and a percentage is automatically going to be sent to pay off whatever you owe on the line of credit automatically. So you've got this really cool feature where you pretty much never have to worry about making a minimum monthly payment because it happens automatically, right? As long as you're accepting payments and in business, your line of credit is going to have automatic debt servicing. So you shouldn't have to worry about missing a minimum payment. Now, a lot of people say, hey, what happens if I don't know, something crazy happens that we've never heard of before, like close my office for a month for a pandemic, right? I imagine something crazy like that happen. Nobody's ever seen that happen before. You can go online and just make a minimum payment, just 2% of whatever's borrowed, which is real easy. Let's say you get 10 grand, you use every dime, it's only a $200 minimum payment. So even in the case of something weird like a pandemic, you should be able to handle it, no problem. Now, a lot of people ask, they say, hey, if I've got this split going on and money comes into my merchant account, some of it goes to the line of credit, but what if I haven't used the line of credit? A lot of people ask that. What happens is you accrue a positive balance on your line of credit. I like to say, think of it as a business checking account with a line of credit attached to it, right? So if money goes over there when you don't owe anything, you develop a positive balance. So there's no loss. You're not paying interest on your own money. You're not losing your money. It's just a way that the investment group can know that payments are going to come in on a regular basis, and they'll be able to offer you financing, while others would turn you down for your industry or economic uncertainty or whatever other million reasons that lenders find to not lend people money these days. Next slide. Frank, falling asleep at the wheel. What's going on? Now, do you have to get a merchant account from us? No. Any merchant account will do, as long as it's not Square, PayPal, or Stripe. I will say that some of the merchant accounts can be a little tricky on the setup. And a lot of people that come to us, even if they already have a merchant account, will end up setting up a merchant account with us because, you know, whatever rates you have, we will meet or beat those, right? So, and we'll make it easy to get going. But there's no requirement. Nobody's hard sold. It's just it's a benefit service that we offer in order to make it real easy for anybody to come in and get the line of credit.
I had somebody ask late last night, if they don't want the merchant account, could they still get the funding? And I don't think I gave them the right answer. What is the correct answer?
They have to have a merchant account to get funding. They don't have to get it from us. They have to have one. I mean, that is the whole structure of the whole thing. Without a merchant account, there is no financing.
There you go. That's the answer I gave. Okay.
Perfect. Nailed it. All right. So what are the costs? So if you want to get this financing right now, you can do it. There's a $99.97 one-time setup fee to be a customer. There's a $9.97 monthly maintenance fee for the line. And you just go to one of the links that Frank sent out. It really should take about 5 minutes. You put your information in there. You have to attach 4 documents, and it's pretty easy, but I know some of you don't have all 4 of them, and I get it, but we do need all 4. So if you got to wait a couple of weeks, that's great, and there's no reason to submit it without it. But we need a copy of a picture of your driver's license. We need your articles of incorporation if you're a corporation or an LLC, or your DBA paperwork or your business license if you're a sole proprietor. So if you're just Joe sitting there thinking, I want to do this, you do need to get a DBA. We've gone through this a few times, and I verified it. You got to get a DBA and a EIN and a business checking account first. So again, we need a copy of your driver's license, copy of your articles or DBA, copy of your EIN letter from the IRS, which is also called an SS4, and a voided check. You need a voided check with your business name on there. That's probably the thing I have the most trouble with. If you cannot get a voided check, you can go to the bank and get a bank letter from the bank showing that you have a business checking account. It needs to have letterhead, bank name, routing and account number, and be signed. And if you can't get either of those, you could potentially submit a bank statement, and sometimes that'll work.
So
But
Tim,
yesterday I had, yeah.
So Tim, what you're saying is it's really simple. It's really, really simple. You don't need 2 or 3 years of bank statements. You don't need 2 or 3 years of tax returns. A lot of people give that to me just because they think that's what's required. But you're saying we don't need any of that. Is that correct?
It is correct. And if you've ever, I know a lot of your people offer financing. So if you've already offered financing before, then you'll recognize this is the lowest documentation requirements you'll have with anything, really. I mean, even the app is pretty straightforward.
I'd call it a streamlined application.
Yeah, I mean, it's a one-page thing. In fact, I'm sure some people on here could probably complete it while we're on the call. I mean, even if you wanted to, we could literally just click and go through it. I don't know if that might be a little bit boring. Maybe we'll do it at the end if anybody has questions. But it's pretty straightforward. So anyway, that's the cost. Basically, $100 setup, $10 a month. And once you have the thing opened, anytime you want to transfer the money into your bank account, you can do that. There's a 3% balance transfer fee. The interest rate's going to range from 9 to 19%. And a lot of people I'm seeing in the 15, 16, 17% range will know as soon as you're approved exactly how much you're going to get and the interest rate. So we'll be able to tell you there that right then. If you need a merchant account, then I can't really tell you the pricing because it's all over the place, because every industry is different, time in business, there's a lot of different factors. But I will say that if you already have one, we can meet, I'm not just saying this, we can meet, beat or match any pricing that anyone could offer. Anyone, period. So if you already have something else, show us your bank statement, we'll beat it. Okay, so if you want to enroll, here are the two links right now. You notice they're pretty simple links. First.app/easy to be a client, and first.app/easyfi, that's EasyFI, to be a reseller. And that's what I'm going to get in next. If you're watching this and you're thinking, hey, I'd love to have a line of credit, but I don't have a business that uses a merchant account, good news. I can actually give you a business that uses a merchant account so that you can have your merchant account and have the line of credit. And that is to sign up as a reseller, which I'm assuming we're going to go on to next. Well, I'll come back to that in a second. But anyway, to sign up, it's pretty easy. You just go through the DocuSign, fill it in, attach the 4 documents, hit submit. You don't need a credit report. It says credit report at the top, but we definitely I don't need a credit report.
The reason the credit report is up there is because they may want other things from me, and I usually go off of a credit report for the other things other than this line of credit. So I put that in there. So I apologize, Tim. I blindsided you that you didn't know that was there. So I'm sorry.
No, not at all. But it's important because when you actually go through the DocuSign, you can only attach 4 documents. And if you wanted to attach 5, you wouldn't even be able to, because it just has 4 little boxes. So it'd be, but if you could always send a credit report to Frank, because when you sign this thing, it goes to Frank. He reviews it, and if there's a problem, he'll let you know. Otherwise, it gets submitted and he's done. And then you're going to be getting a call from somebody like Allie from my organization who's on right now, in order to just do a compliance call, make sure you understand exactly what you're signing up for. Of course, if you on this, you probably know what it is. And then we'll submit you to merchant services, and they are just going to make sure your merchant account works. If you don't have one, they'll set one up for you. And like I said, I've never had somebody complain about the pricing, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay.
Tim, somebody
yes.
has a question.
Great.
How does one cancel out if wished? Are there any verboten businesses?
Okay, good question. There's 2 questions there. I'll start with the verboten, which is German for forbidden.
I recognize it.
Right. So yes, there are 3 industries that we absolutely cannot help, but only 3, and I think you're going to find them pretty lenient. And those are if you sell marijuana, if you sell adult things, or if you have a gambling company. That's it. Those are the only 3 we can't help. Anybody else we can help. Now, I will say that some industries are a little tricky to get merchant accounts for. And so there are situations where it's easier for me to get the line of credit than the merchant account. And that happens sometimes, but we do have high risk merchant providers we work with, and we'll probably be able to help you. If there's going to be an issue, it's going to be there. I know somebody yesterday asked about CBD or cannabinoids, which are marijuana related items. They're not marijuana, but it's in that that hinterland, that gray space, that is fine. We have verified with the investors that we can do lines of credit for CBD. It might be a little bumpy on the merchant account side. We have partners that say they do it. So I'm going to say that I haven't actually done one yet. So I like to do one before I say, I can definitely do it. But they tell me they can definitely do it. Anyway, second one, how does one cancel out? Well, we've had a couple people cancel. And so I had a guy the other day, he got approved for 10K, the full 10K right out the gate. And then he sat on it for a month and came back and said, you know what, I got this money because I was starting a restaurant with these 3 other guys. And because of COVID, I just decided I don't want to do a restaurant anymore. He hadn't borrowed any of the money, so we just canceled it. I actually haven't canceled it yet, but I'm trying to see if I can get it transferred to his partners. But if I can't, then we'll just cancel it out of the system. Alternatively, maybe he had borrowed all $10,000 and he wants to cancel. Then I'm sure they'd probably just work out some sort of a structured repayment plan. I haven't had that happen yet, so I don't know exactly how that would go. But it's not like they're going to come out and kidnap your kids or anything like that. They'll just work out a payment plan with you, and you can go through that. So it's fairly easy. Let me talk about that a little bit more. Let's say you pay the $100, and then 5 days from now you're like, you know what? Forget it. I changed my mind. I don't like money. Then for any reason at all, you can call back. We'd refund the setup fee and just cancel it out of the system. We also have a just standing 30-day policy that if something weird happens and we can't get you set up in 30 days, we refund it directly. And then if you still want it, we'll still try to do it. And then you could be rebuilt, right? We don't want somebody sitting there 3 months later and say, hey, I got forgotten about. But, I've signed up a lot of people and that really doesn't come up that much. So I probably talked about that more than it needed to.
Tim, this is Jeff.
Hey.
On merchant accounts, some of the merchant accounts have all kind of added fees, $10 for this and $3 for that, whatever. Does that exist with your merchant accounts?
All right, so I'm going to have to give a nuanced answer to that. And I start with my disclaimer. I don't sell merchant accounts. Okay. I can't quote pricing, just so everybody knows, but I've seen quotes go out there. And I had one of our partners who came on with us and was sending all their clients to us. We did their merchant processing. That's the most I actually looked at the merchant processing side of it. And when I saw their statement, you're right, there's tons of fees. Now, a lot of that stuff is mandatory stuff from the government and different agencies and Visa, MasterCard. There's a lot of these little ticky-tack things, but I hate those. So I actually went, and when we made an offer, we gave a flat offer that removed all of those fees. But that was just one instance. I don't know what yours is going to be. Remember, you could be in 2 different industries and have completely different merchant accounts with different needs, right? I know some accounts have a minimum processing monthly requirement where I think the one I've seen is as long as you're processing at least $200 a month, then you're meeting your minimum. So there is an expectation you will use the merchant account. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, I know you're not saying this, Jeff, but I'm just throwing this out there. If you're listening to this thinking, I'm going to get a merchant account, never use it, that is not how this is intended to work. Might as well just not do it, right? We are looking for businesses that are generating revenue and revolving the money, and it's perfect for that more than anything else that's out there. But you shouldn't look at this as a term loan. Kind of expensive for a term loan.
Well, if you're going to take a certain percentage out of every day, every sale, that's fine. But am I going to get a statement for my business at the end of the month that I owe an extra $10 or an extra this and whatever they add on?
You'll definitely get a statement for merchant processing. And I don't know exactly what it's going to be. But like I said, I believe that as long as you're doing a couple $100 a month, which you'll know from the pricing, that's really only getting out 2 of these a month, that I think you cover all the minimums. But again, when you get to the point where we can give you an exact quote, but I do not know the answer on how the pricing works on merchant processing.
Okay, I had somebody totally ask me that last night, and that's why I'm asking you, because a lot of merchants out there will look at that. I used to own a store, and I looked at it every month and hated it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like I said, the partners I'm working with have done merchant accounts for 30 years, And when they start talking about it, my eyes glaze over. When we put together this program, I don't want to have to train everybody on how to offer merchant accounts. You know what I mean? It would be a lot of training. So our reseller program is just, hey, ask somebody if they want the line of credit. If they have a merchant account, great. If not, we'll set one up for them and we'll go over all the pricing. You just sign them up and we handle all that. And if they don't like it, then we, cancel it out. And nobody is obligated to do anything. But I don't want to have to put everybody through a 3-month training on understanding the different point of sale systems from restaurant 1 to restaurant 2. You know what I mean? Those are some of the things that you would have to do it for years in order to be able to understand all the nuances. That's
believe
why,
we, and
if
believe
you guys
me,
are
we
getting
don't,
it,
we don't
that's
have
the
years.
hesitation.
A lot of the people that signed up already have clients. The people that
Awesome.
signed up yesterday already have clients today. So
Great.
we don't
Beautiful.
want to take 6 months to teach you every little bitty thing about the merchant accounts. Do you need the money? Could you use $10,000 right now? Could you get? Would it be nice to have it in 3 to 5 days? Yes, great. Here's a 1-page streamlined application. Done deal.
Perfect.
Next.
And I know I am talking about it a little bit more than maybe you expected, but it's a very valid question. People are going to say, what are the costs of the merchant account? And I hope that you guys are all getting from this the complexities of just saying the pricing on a merchant account. It can be very different for a restaurant versus a car. We've had a couple car dealers come through. Their pricing is going to be different, right? They're running $5,000 transactions versus somebody who does lots of $20 or $30 transactions and needs a point of sale system. The other one just uses a swiper, or versus online sales. So you get the idea. It's we give good pricing. It's complex enough that there's no way I can quote it right now. Okay.
The best way to quote it, and I'll shut up, is we can beat everyone's price. We'll either meet it or beat it. So you've got nothing to lose. You know you're going to get the best price. 2 people have raised their hands.
When you sign up, this is the step super fast, right? You fill in the forms. It goes to Frank. He just checks to see if it's all there. He doesn't even need to call you, but he will if he wants to. Then he sends it in. When it comes in, Allie, who's on the phone, is going to give you a call and just make sure you understand what you signed up for. And assuming you do, then she hands you off to a client services coordinator who is responsible for making sure you get the merchant account you need and the line of credit. The client services coordinator will probably coordinate a call with an expert in merchant processing who's been doing it for 30 years, and you'll get a customized quote. We have sort of standards, but if there's anything at all or a different industry, you'll get a customized quote, and you can talk to them as long as you want until it ends up being exactly what you need. And as soon as that's done, you set up the merchant account and set up your line of credit, and you're off to the races. Hopefully that wasn't overly complicated. All right, next slide. Yeah, I guess this is going back to what I was saying. If you do not have a current need for a merchant account, good news, I can give you a business and where you do need a merchant account, and that's being a reseller. You can actually go out and sign people up, just like Frank is, and you earn the $99.97. I give you a merchant account, you get the line of credit, you sign somebody up, you get the whole thing. Literally 100% of the commission goes to whoever brings in the client. That is our reseller program. It's $249 to sign up instead of $99. It's a little bit higher sign up fee and $100 a month, $99.97 a month maintenance fee. But that's because we're going to be providing with tech tools. You're going to have DocuSign links you can send out. We're going to be doing ongoing training and support. There's a lot of work that happens on our side in order to be able to assist you. But that's what you get. And like I said, you can go sign up people. I had a reseller signed up 2 weeks ago. He just submitted 3 people on Monday, and he's got a lot more coming in. This is the easiest type of financing I've ever offered, period, hands down. Don't take my word for it. Next time you're at the dry cleaner, ask them. Just start asking people, hey, if I could get you a line of credit up to 10 grand in a couple of days and maybe up to 100 grand once you submit your business bank statements with no personal guarantee, would you want it? And they say, yeah, what's the cost? It's just $100. I had somebody I was talking to who she said, all right, once I get this line of credit, say I get the 10 grand, what do I owe you then? And I was like, well, what do you mean? You already paid the $100. She's like, right, I know, but what do I owe you out of the money? I said, well, you don't owe me anything. You just pay the interest on it. And she was blown away, right? Because a lot of other funding programs charge pretty significant origination fees. This is nothing like that. So you can sell something. It's good financing for the client. It's available in a pandemic. Everybody needs it right now. Feel free to go out and offer it as COVID financing. We've got a lender who's lending in the middle of the pandemic. If you could use an extra 10 grand right now for your business, if you're struggling, great. I'll market it that way. We would love to have it. And that's it. So you get the same thing that your clients get, except you also get the ability to go resell it. That's our reseller program.
I want to issue a challenge now, Tim. That was a great comment that you just made. So I'm going to challenge anyone that's on the call right now today to come up with a program, the COVID-19 funding program for emergency funding. Put together a program and present it to me, and we'll do a presentation on just that item. That is so spectacular. There isn't anyone in the country that couldn't take advantage of that, especially with no PG, no personal guarantee. Wow, that's dynamite. Unbelievable.
Think about this. If you go and talk to a restaurant and tell them about this line of credit, the initial thing, they're going to think you're promoting a merchant cash advance, and they've had a lot of offers for that. If you could just, as long as you can get over that hump of making sure they understand that this isn't something with a 120% interest rate, with a reasonable, mid-teens interest rate that they can get right now, even while their business is closed, and potentially even save money on the merchant processing if they want to, that's a really good deal that nobody else is offering right now. You either get the money from the government. A lot of people didn't get that. We're lending people money who the government wouldn't give a dime to, if you can believe that. All right, I have a couple questions coming in. Allie, you want to read them?
Yep. Okay, first of all, they ask where can they fax an application? And then you want to answer that?
Yeah. I don't know why you would need to fax the application. If you click on the link, you should be able to do the whole thing online. If you're thinking, I could do it online, but I need to fax my documents, then Frank, you got a fax number?
No, it's on this. Oh, fax your documents. No, I don't have a fax number. So you could scan them in and email it to me, but you don't need to do that. If you go online to 1st.app/EZ5, that is called DocuSign, and you can upload those documents, the 5 documents that we're looking for. You could upload those right then and there. You don't have to do anything special. It's completely automated. You don't have to do anything special. First, 1st.app/EZ5 as a reseller, or if you want to be just an associate, 1st.app/EZ, and the application will have everything you need right there on it. All the instructions are right there, and it is a one-page, streamlined, very fast document to fill out.
By the way, Josh asked a question which made me realize that I totally left off probably this, if you can believe it, the most exciting part of the entire reseller program. And that's this. What he asked was, do we get any residuals from the clients who sign up as a reseller? And the answer is yes. It's actually probably the most exciting point, is that when you sign up clients, if they also create a merchant account with us, or if they switch their merchant processing to us, then you get 25 basis points on all their merchant processing. Now, once you hit a minimum, you got to get at least, the documents say 100 clients, but we're being a little lenient on that just to make sure everybody can get started as quickly as possible. But 25 basis points is this. It's basically 25 cents on every $100 they process. So if you've got a business processing $100,000 a month, which is not uncommon, right? In fact, I had one submitted yesterday. He's doing $100,000 a month, and he's a landlord. His tenants are paying their rent using a credit card, and he's bringing in just about 100 grand a month. That's $250 a month in residual every single month. The goal that I tell all our resellers is that you should try to get a portfolio with, at least 100 merchants in there doing a combined total of $1 million in processing a month. That's not a big number. I had a company a few years ago. We were doing 500 grand a month just through one company, right? So if you're bringing in $1 million a month in processing, that's $2,500 a month in residual payment for as long as they're enrolled. So I tell everybody, set a goal of 100 clients. That should be your goal, right? It may take a few months to get there, but look, this is the easiest thing you've ever sold, right? It's a $100 sign up. They get something great nobody else is offering. Nobody else is offering this. You can't get it anywhere else. So just say that again. Nobody else is selling this. You're not going to find it online. You're not going to find it from 18 different brokers. You're not going to talk to somebody, say, oh yeah, I just talked to somebody yesterday. Literally, we're just rolling out our reseller program. Frank's the first person to, I haven't even advertised it. Frank was the first person to advertise it. And that is just the truth.
That's
so
just the way
nobody
I
else
am.
has this. Yeah, Frank gets everything first. So it's relatively easy to do. And then you start getting residuals, right? You sign up 200 clients, now you're making $5 grand a month. All right, what's your number? What's your number that you need every month to not have to worry about any of your bills? Do that. It's easier than you think. Most financing things, honestly, are a little harder than you think, because it sounds easy to bring in one, and I did a lot of real estate loans, right? Bring in a $1 million real estate loan and you get a $20,000 commission. Sounds easy, but you got to go through I don't know how many people get declined or won't accept the rates. That's tough, right? It's great money, but it's kind of tough to do. This is the opposite. Sure, it's only $100, but everybody and their brother will sign up, and then they're going to refer their brother's brother. And we're already getting that. People referring other people who signed up. So
Okay,
like
Tim, you threw out another nugget that I picked up on, and that is the landlord. Now, most of my people are involved in real estate in one way or another. Wasn't that a fabulous idea to offer the tenants to be able to pay their rent with a credit card? Oh my God, that's a fantastic idea. Now and many of my people that are on the call right now today are real estate agents. Can you imagine the amount of money that those folks could make every time they sell an investment property and say, oh, by the way, you're going to want to sign up for the merchant account too. The landlord, the investor says, for what? Well, to collect your rent. Aren't you doing that? Everyone's going to be doing it soon. Oh my God. What a great idea that was.
I'm glad you like it. I get excited about it too when I first heard about it. It's relatively new. People didn't used to do it before. And there's a specific reason. It's because in the past, Visa, MasterCard they made it like their rules, if you wanted to process credit cards at all, that the person with the merchant account had to pay all the fees that come from merchant processing. But about 5 years ago, they passed some legislation that allowed people to have what you call surcharge or cash discount merchant accounts, where you can tell somebody, hey, your rent's $1,000 a month. If you pay me by check, it's $1,000. If you'd like to pay by credit card, here's a link. You can do it anytime you want. It's going to be $1,036 or whatever the heck the number is. I don't know. It allows the client to pay the fees on top for the convenience. And so there's no cost to the landlord for providing an extra way. I can tell you this, there's a lot of landlords that had this option that were really happy about it when COVID hit. Some people didn't have money, but they're still able to pay. And it's also really convenient. You're away traveling, you forgot to pay rent, you can go online, pay it by a debit card easily. So that's what, here, another one that I didn't actually think was a fit, but it has turned out to be a fit, is transportation companies. If you have a client who drives for multiple businesses and is in the habit of invoicing them, they can issue invoices where some of them will pay by credit card. We don't need everyone to pay. Some of them will pay. It works. Here's another industry I didn't think would work, but now that I've been doing this for a while, it does work. Contractors, right? Again, they don't have to receive, this is important, guys. There's no requirement that a company gets all their revenue through the merchant account. Not at all. As long as they're getting some revenue through the merchant account, as long as some clients will pay through the merchant account, then it's totally fine to set up the merchant account and get them a line of credit. A lot of people out there using PayPal because they say, oh, I only get a couple payments a month, so I use PayPal. Set up a merchant account. You're going to be saving money because PayPal is surprisingly expensive. You don't realize it. You're going to be paying less transaction fees, and then you'll be able to have the line of credit. All right, a couple more questions here. Does it matter how we choose to market this? In-person, pole signs, internet? Is there a required way? No, you can do whatever you want as long as you're not lying. I really don't care. I mean, this is a green market. I mean, just don't advertise to adult gaming and marijuana, and you're good. You know, I could talk a lot about the marketing, so you better be careful. Don't get me started on that. But I will say that if I were you, I would go to businesses that have lots of eligible clients. So I know I do have one reseller who's targeting credit repair companies, because a lot of the people in credit repair are there because they're trying to improve their credit in order to get some kind of a business financing. It's not all business financing, but you know, maybe a third of them are. So you can go to the credit repair company, give the credit repair company the line of credit, and the credit repair company can refer their clients for the line of credit and either charge more for their service or just know that they help their client achieve something. It makes their service more valuable. You know, there's lots of different ways you can do it. That's what I would do. In fact, I've done that since starting this. You know, I brought on 2 large partners that are bringing between 25 to 50 a month, right? So you want to go do that. You want to go, we have one large partner that just started this week. I have one reseller that's working it. And the deal that they worked out is that large partner is going to send all their declines, people that they were submitting for a credit card type program. They send all their declines to him. He's going to sell the deal. He, the reseller, gets the $100 sign up fee, but then the large referring partner gets the basis points on the merchant accounts. And so the guy's he's just started this week, but you know, he's getting 2, 3, 4 people a day sent to him. And he'll be able to make, you know, $300 to $400 a day on signups, and the other company will be able to make the residuals long term. Work out whatever you want, right? If you're a reseller, you know the money's coming to you, and you can split it up any way you like, whatever you want to do. All right, I know another reseller that advertised on Craigslist, and we started getting a ton of inquiries that way. And somebody else is advertising on Facebook. You can do whatever you want. All right, is the interest rate contingent on your credit score with a range of 9 to 14? It actually said 9 to 19. You know, so it can fluctuate, and I have seen more of them. You know, like yesterday, somebody got 15.5 plus prime. It's probably going to be more along the higher end. So that's the range it's going to come at, but we won't know until they go through, until they apply. I know the application has a fixed rate, and I need to modify that. If you go to the enrollment document right now, I think it says 14% plus prime. So I do need to modify to show the sliding scale.
Okay, and one other thing here that you got to keep in mind, Business 101, this is not consumer credit. We don't buy something and then make payments on it for the rest of our life. Business 101, we're using OPM, other people's money. We're turning that money multiple times in a month. And if you pay it off before the grace period, the interest rate is 0.
Right, yeah, I didn't mention that. Thank you, totally forgot. Because it's revolving, and because it kind of functions like a credit card in the sense that if something comes on and gets paid off through the auto payment function or whatever within 30 days, there's 0 interest at all. Somebody else who just signed up for the merchant line yesterday is a mortgage broker who wants to be able to collect advance fees, things that their client is going to pay for, but they're sick of waiting for the client to pay, so they're just going to pay for them and then invoice the client to pay it back. So that's a great use for a merchant account. Angie gets a line of credit.
I had that question come up with a couple of my real estate agents, can they take a deposit? Can they take down payments? Can they take things like that? That's the answer. You just answered it.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
there are some complications. I just want to throw out that we are not checking to see if what you are doing is legal, which is to say there's a lot of laws around consumer residential mortgages that I don't know, and I wouldn't, and different states are different. So there's some things you can charge for and some things you can't. So just you check that, because I won't be. You tell me you want to do it, we'll do it. You know, just make sure you're allowed to. I think taking a deposit on a real estate, that's probably not going to be a good fit, you know, especially because if you take a $10,000 deposit and then 2,500 goes to pay off your line of credit and you're supposed to give that to escrow, I just don't think that's a good idea. But the other stuff would be great.
Okay.
This is Jeff. To go along with that, Tim, I'm in Texas, and in Texas, if you're a real estate agent and you commingle funds, you are probably going to lose your license.
Right. So yeah, don't do it on that kind of stuff. But on other stuff, I know that if you pay for the appraisal in advance and then the client reimburses you, that's totally fine. Yeah. I think as long as you just disclose it on the HUD what the costs are, that kind of stuff, then you are good.
You just got to be careful with down payments and with escrow money.
Right. Okay, Steven is asking, he said, I'm already signed up with Easy Financial. Do I have any other out-of-pocket costs to offer or invite others to this opportunity? No cost at all. You do not have to enroll as a reseller. You can send people to Frank through whatever you work out with Frank, and I'm sure Frank will work something out with you. Pay nothing. And that looks weird right there, just so you know that you can't tell the difference between the word and the link, Frank. So be careful if you're looking at that slide. But talk to Frank about referring people. I'm sure he'll work something out with you. I don't know what that is, so you'll just need to talk to him.
Okay.
Do you have any marketing materials? The marketing materials is the enrollment form, really. If you sign up as a reseller, you'll get your own custom link to send to people. But it's all combined. It's the enrollment form for a client is 2 pages. One page tells them what it is. The other page, they sign up for it. Because it really is that easy. Guys, I've trained a few people on this, and I've seen this happen at least 3 times already. Somebody comes in and say, I want to start selling this. They ask a million questions, which, by the way, when you're selling something, you want to know what you're selling. I get it. I mean, that's natural. Then they go sell it a little bit, and they're like, you know what? I didn't need to learn any of that stuff. These people are just signing up for it. So, especially when people start asking me lots and lots of questions about merchant accounts. Well, what about a merchant account for if they need a point of sale system and they have a Clover? I'm like, man, I don't know. You know, just sign them up. They can use it if they have Clover or whatever. I don't care. You don't need to be a black belt in merchant accounts. Do you need 10 grand, right? Get it there in a week.
Well, you know what?
Easier than you think.
You know what, Tim? You spent a few minutes with me showing me how to process this, and I processed all the rest of them without any trouble whatsoever. And this morning I processed more that came in over the night. So it was like, wow, this is too simple.
It is, right? You send the link out, they sign it, you look at it. If it's good, you forward it. I mean, it is actually that easy. I mean, the hardest part is going back to somebody who say, hey, this isn't a bank account. What is this? And then getting them to actually get you something. But that's not that hard. So, you know, it's a lot easier than saying, hey, your credit score needs to be 100 points higher. Good luck. You know, it's not going to happen anytime quickly most of the time. Let's see. I think Garrett says, what if there's no need of the merchant account if you have nothing to sell? How could a business owner still benefit from the loan? If a business owner has no use for a merchant account, then we can't give them the line of credit. Period. You could tell them, you could offer to have them sign up as a reseller, and then you make $250 instead of $100. That's totally fine. But you know, they'd have to want to sell it. And I got to say, I've had a lot of businesses come in where, you know, I had one guy who's like, I'm an insurance salesman. I'm not allowed to collect the premium payments with my own merchant account, which, by the way, I think you probably could, because I know people that have. But, you know, I said, well, do you know other people that would like this kind of financing? I said, yes. All right, well, sign up as a reseller. and I'll give you the merchant account and the line of credit. So that is your fallback if somebody doesn't currently have a use for a merchant account. And if that doesn't work, then, you know, I'm out of ideas.
And don't pay anyone $13,000 for getting you the line of credit.
Oh yeah, no, $100. There's no investors from Abu Dhabi required.
Okay. Well, Tim, you've done a great job. We're coming up on the top of the hour again. I do have a 2 o'clock appointment.
You just can't shut me up.
So, no, I mean, you're doing great. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thanks.
And so if there's any last questions, we're just going to get ready to wrap up here any minute. So if there are any last questions, unmute yourself, shout out your question, and Tim will
Hey,
answer
Frank,
it
it's
in about
Jeff.
5
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
Go ahead, ladies first.
Okay, thank you. Tim, this is Sharon. I wanted to find out, I was wondering if you could make a sizzler call that we could use, that if it's coming from our phone, it's linked to our account, and the people that would sign up, they would, you know, a lot of times when you give a sizzler call, you perk their interest, especially when you said this is not the regular merchant account. Okay. Maybe it's something that you can do and make us a sizzler call of some sort.
I've never done a sizzler call, so I'm probably I should just say no, not because I don't want to give you what you need, but mostly because we have so much business coming in right now that I spend most of my time. I don't do these much. I'm doing this as a favor for Frank, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to support bringing in 1,000 clients a month. Or you know, we're going to hit 100. We're probably going to hit 100 this month, and we could hit 400 to 500 by the end of the year. So that's where I'm spending most of my time, focusing and making sure we got the processing down. And you are available to market it any way you want. If you want to make your own sizzler, then
okay.
that sounds awesome.
Okay.
Well, I have the way. I'll let you off the hook, Tim. I have the way to do a sizzler call. And Sharon, I'll be more than happy if you'd like to set up a sizzler call. We don't necessarily need Tim, although he is excellent. This is now the second time I've heard this presentation, and he created the PowerPoint, so we can do it on a call without the PowerPoint presentation. I could just use it on my machine. So I will do that
bring the
for
sizzle.
you. So
Yeah.
anyone who wants to do a sizzler call, contact Sharon, and she'll coordinate it for us.
Okay. I have one more question. I immediately after hearing this yesterday, I went and looked on to see how to register my name. Unfortunately, I used to have a website. It was called Be Health Conscious, but I know I had one called Health Conscious, and somebody took the name, but it is available. I can get Be Health Conscious. So is there somebody that you know that can register our name?
Yes,
You know,
we have Eloise on the call right now today that can get you a DBA or can get you an LLC in your name.
okay. I was doing the DBA. I did call the Registry of Deeds. All I need to do is pay them $26 and file an assumed name. They can give it to me the same day.
Yes.
And that will help me with my bank account, but I still want to register the name. So, and you'll have to give me that information, Frank, before I need to call.
Eloise will be in touch with you.
I'm here, Frank.
I know you are.
Okay.
To give her, if you want to give her my info, she can give me a call, and I'll be happy to help you and
So let me
get you going.
just introduce Eloise. She is our paralegal, and she will be setting up anyone who needs an LLC or a DBA or an EIN or setting up structuring your business. Eloise will be helping you out, and and we are going to make it very, very reasonable. And actually, you'll be able to pay for it with the money you get from Tim.
There you go.
Cool.
Well,
Uh,
I mean,
Frank, you could put on your website, or if they call you, give them my phone number.
We'll
my
do that.
email
We'll do that. Let's wrap up because Tim's got to go and so do I. I've got a 2 o'clock.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you,
All right.
Eloise.
thanks everybody. I look forward to seeing you come through here and having you be resellers. I'd love to work with you guys.
So
Thank you,
right
Tim.
now, guys, go on this first app .ez or first.app/EasyFi. Go sign up. You can't lose. You're gonna make the money back really fast. All right, guys. And by the way, and you can pay for it with the money that you get from Tim. All right, guys. Thank you so much. God bless. You guys have a great day. Bye now.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Frank.